Hey everybody, welcome to Fireside Chats. I'm your host, Aseer the Duke of Tears. Thank you guys for coming through. As always, thank you for the support that you have sent me over the years doing this great work, striving to bring our people into awareness of themselves, whether they want to or not. Also, thank you guys for all the support and the positive affirmations that you send me, as well as a lot of your questions as to, what's going on with a lot of these dirty people, what happened to the so-called conscious community, why people are out here fleecing all these people for all this type of money and stuff, and why nothing's being done. Well, unfortunately, to answer that quickly, in order for you to find out what happened, you got to look at where you were at when you saw things starting to deteriorate. Everybody's at fault in what happened to the so-called conscious community. Everybody. Myself, I did what I could, both on the ground, in the field, meaning around a lot of these dirty jokers and a lot of these dirty Moors and a lot of these dirty so-called RPG people and the rest of these niggas that's out here telling people one thing, and then I'm behind the scenes with them and I'm seeing a whole nother thing going on. So what I did, or what I felt I could do, was build with the people directly, uh, be a medium of change or balance for them to be able to realize what happened to them and maybe give them solutions of what they could do uh, post being fleeced by these black devils, as well as putting things out in my material. People, if you saw the DVD I did called "Welcome to Obamatopia," or the
Red
occult
China
history of
Rise.
Obama, what the F,
Red China Rise.
Red China Rise and World War Five. That joint
That
busts
was
down
it.
everything that's going down right now,
Mm-hmm.
both in the so-called conscious community, but also in the geopolitical community, in terms of all of the arms in the world turning against the so-called United States, which again fosters and plays into the conscious community due to the fact that the conscious community was so influential in bringing forth not only metaphysical consciousness but so-called black consciousness or whatever, to the point that National Geographic, the History Channel, all these people would basically watch our DVDs. I know they was watching mine because they was actually naming stuff after stuff that I had already done, and then putting it out with their version of it, and then creating other forums by bringing infiltrators into the community that would bring other infiltrators in to circumvent the positive momentum that was happening during that period. However, you can't cry over spilt milk, and you can't basically keep blaming everybody. You gotta also, like I said, look within. So when I get hundreds of emails, hundreds of calls, you know what I'm saying, about some of the wild stuff that's going on, it kind of makes me feel bad. But at the same time, I'm to a point where I feel like the people got to do something. The people got to stand up and say that they're tired of all the foolishness, and they're tired of all the confusion, and everybody out here just wilding, saying whatever they want to say about black people or themselves or whoever, and then new people coming into community. Bobby say you shouldn't eat this. Phil say eat that. Sabi say don't eat that. What Sabi said don't eat. What Sabi said don't eat in the early Sabi is now different than what you are hearing in elder Sabi. And I'm just using that as an example. I'm not trying to target, because black people are sensitive and reactionary. So I'm not trying to target anybody specifically. What I'm just saying, that information, one thing that we have to understand is that information changes, or that it evolves, but the truth always remains the same. So the truth is, we all in the same boat, and everybody is now, for some reason, targeting Moors, or feeling like the Moors are now the responsible parties and what happened to black people and this and that. And then these same so-called black people that's saying that stuff is also putting stuff out there, whereas we need to go back to Africa and this and that. But I've sat down with so-called African dignitaries very recently, you know what I'm saying? And that's not what they talk about. I know Africans from the continent of Africa who have claimed a Moorish nationality here in America and is striving to take it back to Africa and tell their people that they're not African. But that's not on Instagram. That's not on YouTube. That's not on Facebook. Because that's not something that people themselves, I even think, are ready to hear, because people have made a lot of money off of black people over the years. Exeter, since we're talking about black people in designation and identity, Executive Order 13037, put forth by Bill Clinton, is what made you an African American. When they put into the census what you could be called, they gave you a choice: American Negro, Negro, African American, Black, colored, or whatever. The fact that we even, not we, because I didn't participate in that, but the fact that the people that this was given to, out of all of those choices, didn't come up with their own choice and say, no, this is what we're going to be called, based upon a racial or a national identity. Nobody did that. So because the American government is able to own the American corporation, the United States corporation is able to own whatever it creates. It created African American. Therefore, African Americans, i.e., are property by tacit consent. Tacit consent is when you basically agree to something, whether you realize what you're agreeing to or not. And there is no remedy for you other than to declare the opposite for you to get out of it. However, black folk have been domesticated through Negroism, which had nothing to do with identity or national character or a sense of individual purpose. Because every identity that we established for ourselves originally was then adopted by another race or another people that came after us. But there's only one race, right? So what we have to understand is, because we are the first in time, we're the first in line. When I say we, I'm talking about those of us who understand the true aspect of the agelessness of melanin itself. Therefore, if you are blessed with it, like most of the planet is, we're in a situation where we have to realize those that aren't have been playing a horrible game on you. And that game is to make you believe that you are nothing but what it is they said that you are, based upon them reorganizing and reconstructing your history. And because you are so emotionally tied up to the elements of your own enslavement or your own servile nature, you have now been forced, or you feel now you're forced, that now that the devil is allowing you to know that you are something else other than Negro, Black, and colored, you don't even believe it. So when I see all of this nonsense about Moors and sovereign citizens and all this type of stuff or whatever, that stuff has nothing to do with anything, B. All of that is window screen. Half of the dudes coming out talking this crap about Moorish science, I got pictures of them with fezzes on. You understand? Like, they running a game on you. Most of these people are involved in different things. Look at what happened to the community once these people started to, let's say, allow people with no real national standing to come in and then bring other people in. Look what happened to the Nation of Islam. They are part of the Church of Scientology. Look at the mega churches, the black churches. Look at what's up with that. Look at these RBG people. You know how many people, you know how many black males, black females this devil has killed, while all these niggas is out here doing lectures, railing you up for black power and all of this crap? That ain't no different than Moors trying to get you now to not pay attention to any international things, talking about treaties and things like that have nothing to do with you, that you just a religious organization. That's basically saying, no, nigga, you sit in the back. You understand? I don't tolerate Negroism from Negroes or Moors. I don't tolerate infantilism, ignorantism, if that's a word, from anybody. I don't care what color you are. And it just so happens now, in 2016, they opened it up with a bang. They started the whole culling thing now. For the people that don't know what a culling is when you have so many sheep or beasts in a herd that you got to thin the herd out so that way they don't overrun you. The white man been doing this. The WIGHT white man been doing this since we was doing it to him. So, for instance, now, they done set this thing up now where they done poisoned a whole generation of Asiatic children with lead. But why Detroit? Why is Detroit going through that? The prophet talked about what happened in Detroit. He said if the people Moors ain't do right in Detroit, Detroit would never recover. And it never has. Detroit is what built the middle class through GE and General Motors and all that. They built the middle class out of nothing. You dig what I'm saying? So What happened? What happened is this. Detroit is one of the only rivers in the United States that girdles 2 countries.
You said rivers? Or, I didn't hear you.
Waterways.
Okay.
The Detroit River, or the waterways over there, straddle 2 countries. There is an international boat race that goes through Detroit every year, where they make billions of dollars off of that. Not only that, they've been running dope through that section of the country since Iran-Contra. They ain't never shut that down. So is it any wonder now that they're going through their Katrina Part 2, the Empire Strikes Back now, where they're now targeting another group of original people with water, and the same type of water is now showing up in Louisiana again? Come on, man. Come on. As I'm talking to you, a black cat is coming through. So that's how I know. Remember in the Matrix when it said the black cats come through and the Matrix is reorganizing itself? That's what's going on right now. Because these fireside chats that we're going to start to do from now on are going to be more direct. So I want you to email me your questions, houseofl@hotmail.com, or post them on the subscription. You got to subscribe.
What did you say the other day? You said you had to wait time.
Yeah, I needed to wait. I needed to wait a certain amount of time, 2-3 years or whatever, for people to really catch up to the stuff that I've been saying. I had to shut down my show, Super Hayward Radio, not because of a lot of things, but not just because it was always coming out of our pocket, and as much people supported and listened, they didn't really donate like that. But also, I got tired of feeding all of these other jokers with their other fake shows, man. You understand, I did Super Hayward Radio for 7 years for Dolo, with new information every year for 365 years, for 7 years straight. Listen to them shows and then go back and listen to the other shows during that time. Certain shows was literally verbatim stuff I was saying. But guess what? You support them. Because black people or original people support people who look like they about the revolution, but really is about the inclusion. So what we're going to do is let me shut this down. We're going to get more into Flint, more into the Louisiana connection, more into Executive Order 13037, because there's a lot of different parts to that. And some people will put little blurbs on it, but they don't really get to the root of it. The other thing I want to leave you with is this. We are the only people in this planet that are still identifying ourselves by what other people say that we are. So that then means that you are an infant, a child, a minor, absent of yourself. So whatever happens to you basically is at the whim of whoever's naming you. So let's rise up, let's do what we need to do. Let's take it serious, and let's support real research. Let's support the real people that's out here in the field making it happen. Let's get away from the conjecture and the debate culture, because that's not doing nothing but confusing y'all and putting y'all in a position to lose your money to people who have been trained by the same COINTELPRO people to fleece you. These same people. So again, I want to say I love the people. I want to say that Allah loves us all, and that we have great work to do. So support the homie. Go to Duke of Tears go to houseofl@hotmail.com. Definitely send me emails, questions, or whatever. The next thing you want to get some classes, 50? Over 50, 60 plus classes, 2 hours deep, for a cost-effective price that's actually going to inform you with some real stuff. Hit me up at gumroad.com/AseerTheDukeOfTears.com. Also check out www.
You said gun or gum?
Gum, GUMROAD.com/AseerTheDukeOfTears.
All
also,
your stuff is there, right?
www.AseerTheDukeOfTears.com. And again, love and light to you. Inshallah, we're going to build again. Peace.